Octagon side with Michael Bisping. I'm Brendan Fitzgerald. What a night of fights it was from Norfolk, Virginia, where the UFC flyweight title was supposed to be won in our main event, but it wasn't. Deiveson Figueiredo missed weight on Friday. He was ineligible to win the UFC flyweight championship, but he did, Michael, win the fight in devastating fashion in the second round.
Yeah, he missed weight, but he delivered on the performance, because that was a classic matchup. It really was, right from the opening bell. Both guys met in the center of the octagon. It was almost over pretty quick with a beautiful armbar. Joseph defended it perfectly like the veteran he is. They came to round two. Round two, Joseph was putting together nice combinations, long 3-4 punch combos, but he was leading with his head as he entered. And on one occasion, boom, two heads collided, accidental headbutt, opened a huge gash on his forehead, and then shortly after that, a right hand from Deiveson put him down on the canvas, and that was the end of the fight. And it's not a coincidence. They clashed heads, and then the fight was shortly after because of that clashed head. I believe that played a massive factor in that fight ending.
It was the first time Deiveson Figueiredo missed weight. Let's celebrate this Brazilian, though, because he is now 18-1 and certainly a force at 125 pounds.
Oh, absolutely. The guy's a finishing machine, and tonight, listen, clash of heads or not, he looked impressive. He looked dangerous. Every time he connected with Joseph, you know, it was troubling for Joseph, his wife, his cornerman, everybody watching, thinking, wow. Every time Deiveson connected, you know, alarm bells went off.
On the other side for Joseph Benavidez, it was his third title fight, and now for the flyweight title, it does not have a home. What do you think should be next, Michael?
Yeah, it's a tricky situation. Obviously, there is a lot of contenders out there. Joseph Benavidez has a win over Deiveson Figueiredo. He springs to mind. But for my money, I'd like to see a rematch, and I know a lot of people might say that's crazy. I know that perhaps Deiveson Figueiredo and his camp may say, shut the hell up, Bisping, what are you talking about? But number one, that was a great fight. It was a close fight, and the clash of heads was the cause for the finish, and he never made weight. Joseph was man enough to honor the event, to take the fight. He didn't have to. He could have said, no, I'm not fighting, but he did, and then it was a clash of heads that caused the finish. As I said, I say book the rematch.
José Formiga will take on Brandon Moreno. That is 2 versus 5 coming up shortly as well, or we'll see if the UFC decides to book the rematch. The co-main event featured Felicia Spencer getting a stoppage victory, and Amanda Nunes was watching. There were 2 women's featherweight fights on the night. Amanda Nunes tweeting along. She seems to want an opponent for UFC 250 in Sao Paulo, Brazil in May, and might it be Felicia Spencer on the other side?
There's a very, very good chance. Obviously, Megan Anderson is all sold out, but she does have a win, Felicia Spencer, a win over Megan Anderson. So I think that would put Felicia at the front of the queue. Regarding her performance tonight, she looked sensational. She got her hands on Zara, put her down on the floor, and then it was a ground and pound as brutal as anything you've ever seen. I mean, the referee certainly gave Zara a lot of time to recover and get out of there, but every time she connected with an elbow or a punch, I was cringing, thinking, man, ref, stop this fight. Felicia Spencer looked unreal tonight.
Felicia Spencer with a workman-like approach in that one, and she gets the stoppage victory. Meanwhile, earlier in the night, just a couple of fights before that, Megan Anderson with one for the highlight reel, a knockout victory over Norma Dumont.
Yeah, absolutely. Norma Dumont came out looking for the upset, you know, looking very confident when she walked out here, had a big smile on her face, and she was certainly fighting like that as well. Very, very confident, started landing with some shots, and I thought, you know, she was on, you know, early doors, early signals looked like she may win this fight, but of course, she got a little too aggressive. She rushed in there, boom, a perfectly timed right hand, dropped her straight to the canvas, and that was it. Beautiful win.
Back-to-back first-round stoppage victories for Megan Anderson, so we will see what's next for Amanda Nunes, who has the featherweight strap, and who might she fight with that on the line. Spinning it forward to UFC 248 in Las Vegas on March 7th. It is a championship doubleheader. In the headliner, Israel Adesanya looks to continue to impress and stay perfect against Yoel Romero with the middleweight title on the line.
Oh, this is an incredible fight. 2 of the most exciting fighters on the UFC roster fighting for the belt. I mean, Adesanya, we all know, he talks a lot, he dances a lot, but he fights a lot, and he fights very, very well. He specifically called out Yoel Romero because he knows he's dangerous, and he said, my legacy will not be complete if I do not take him out. You have to respect that. You have to respect him calling out such a dangerous person, but be careful what you wish for, because Yoel Romero is a freak, and I say that in the best possible way. I say that with respect. He can dive into the air, launch into the air, and knock you out with a flying knee. His fists are like dynamite, and he can pick you up and slam you on your head as well. So this is a crazy fight. I can't wait.
And Yoel Romero loves you.
Oh, he loves it. And I love you too, boy. I love you too.
Well, he loves getting a shot at the middleweight title against Israel Adesanya. That's the main event at UFC 248. As mentioned, it's the second title fight on that card because Zhang Weili, after winning the UFC championship, becoming the first champion from China last August, will defend it as she takes on the former queen of the strawweights, Joanna Jędrzejczyk.
And this is another crazy fight as well. Joanna Jędrzejczyk truly believes in some ways that she's still the champion, that everybody else is just holding the belt for her, keeping it warm. You know, she messed up against Rose Namajunas, and therefore she's allowing other people to have it. She feels next week she's reclaiming her throne. She's going to take the belt back. But the problem is, Zhang Weili, I mean, this woman, she's incredible. I mean, look at the way she finished Jessica Andrade. If you look at her Instagram and see the intensity in which she trains, it really is mind-blowing. If you get a chance, look up her Instagram. The training is out of this world. Both ladies feel like they're going to win this fight. I can't wait to see it.
Zhang Weili lost her first pro fight. She's 20-1.
Didn't lose another.
Whoever got that victory is happy to have it because she has not given it up easily. She's on a 20-fight win streak and looks to defend her belt for the first time against Joanna Jędrzejczyk. Fun with you in Norfolk, Michael.
Always a pleasure, my friend.
The Octagon descends on Las Vegas next week.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports and analysis, download the ESPN app. And for live streaming and special content, subscribe to ESPN+.